Oh, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. The Packers made it a much happier New Year's Eve. Well, made it a happier New Year's Eve for all of us Packers fans. Maybe the Minnesota people a little less happy, but that's
Hey,
okay.
I'm a Minnesota person and I'm happy. Why is my
Did
head so
you
much bigger than yours? I'm on my phone and
well,
I guess I'm
did you
really close
call
to it.
it? Well, you were pretty close to the calling it
I
there.
said 30 to I think I said 30 to 14 or 31 to 14 or something. 30 to 14.
I thought you said
That was
33 to
close.
14. And then Dad said 33 to 13 because he was trying
Dad
to.
said 31 to 13.
No, Dad said 33 to 13 because he was trying to Price is Right your ass.
Well, it didn't work. All I
You're
know is
both pretty
this.
close.
We were
Go
both
ahead.
right. We were both right.
Damn, Packers. Look at this stuff, man. How did they do it? So many thoughts, Ben. So many thoughts. Packer fans out there. Some people actually coming in. How do you guys feel? What do you think? This is pretty awesome, right? We hoped they would show up. We hoped this was the team that by the end of the season we start to see more regularly. And then the Steelers were trailing the Seahawks, and I'm like, come on, man, we got to have the Rams already won, so it's kind of like either the Seahawks or the Rams had to lose to give the Packers a chance, right? And then thankfully, the Steelers did the job. Mike Tomlin does it again and beats the Seahawks. Now the Packers, all they had to do was win tonight, win next week, and they make the playoffs. And I don't know, 6, 8 weeks ago, a bunch of people wouldn't have believed that was the case ever, including you. Including you. You lost the faith, but now you got it back. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to start with a positive negative because you know me, I got to go positive negative the whole way.
All right.
So here's what I'm going to say.
You're like a double A battery or like any battery. You have a plus and a minus sign at all times.
We complain about Joe Barry and the fact that he plays off and all this other kind of stuff. And he does call those things. But the players need to adjust and attack and tackle. And it looked today like the young guys were playing pretty tight coverage. I don't know. I want to go back and watch the film, see how much of it was zone, how much of it was man, how much of it was guys, you know, just sticking on a guy. I mean, Valentine had that one pass breakup on Justin Jefferson, and it was close to pass interference, but it wasn't because he got his head around and his hand up and he knocked it down. It was a good play, really.
Yeah.
But the thing that's interesting is this. You and I brought this up about Brian Flores and he's crazy. He does all this crazy stuff and how different the Vikings defense looks this year. And what we saw tonight was a lot of wide open Bo Melton.
Yeah.
I don't quite know why that happens, but I think it's because of some of the crazy stuff that Brian Flores has to do because the Vikings' talent level on defense is still the same as it was last year, but the scheme is different, right? So against a lesser quarterback, it probably works because they freak out and then they, do dumb stuff. Like when you watch Tua today, for instance, I don't know if anybody saw that game. Tua was freaking out in the pocket and just chucking it and doing dumb stuff. Jordan Love tonight was very poised. And even when guys were in out, we had really good blitz pickups by A.J. Dillon and Patrick Taylor on a couple of really key spots. But, and some, I wish that one pass where Bo Belton kind of hit his hands and it was fourth down, should have been a touchdown. I wish Love would have gathered himself a little bit better before he threw that one because it was not even on target. And he started the game not on target. But after those first two really terrible passes, I thought he played great. And he showed, and he showed what he's good at is being able to not freak out, which he used to do back in the years ago. A couple years ago, he was freaking out in the preseason, right?
Right.
His pocket awareness, his ability to stay cool in the pocket and keep his eyes downfield, even when there's stuff moving around him. And yes, our friend Mo, Viking Mo, he complains that the Packers, they always keep finding guys who could pass protect. And Love had a lot of time tonight to pass to get there.
Zach Tom, second best right tackle pass blocker in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, so that's all I'm going to say is there's pluses and minuses to whatever a defensive coordinator calls. Mm-hmm. And Joe Barry is a safe defensive caller, but the players also aren't aggressive. And the difference here is Brian Flores is an aggressive caller, and his players screwed up a lot where they just dropped guys in coverage and they were wide open, and Love found them repeatedly for big plays and touchdowns, to be quite honest. And that was really the difference in the game, was that our quarterback did a great job of being calm, knowing where the open guy is, getting it to him. He didn't force things tonight. If it wasn't there, he did the dump off to, like, Kraft had a bunch of quick cat passes to him. Aaron Jones a little bit here and there. Malik Heath had one that was really important that we got, moved the chains on, where he, underneath the pass, about 8-yard pass on third down.
That was like a classic. That looked like the Packers defense where everybody was playing behind the first down marker.
Yeah,
and they just like. But anyway, you're right. You're right.
But I'm just saying that's just my first take. Is as much as we freak out, there's pluses and minuses to every way you play defense. And tonight, when you go up against a quarterback who is feeling it, like Jordan Love was tonight, it doesn't matter how many blitzes you do. Your guys can still screw up, just like our guys screwed up. We watched the Vikings drop guys in coverage all night tonight, and they blitzed and they did crazy stuff, and it wasn't enough. There was no deep safety at all for them, because a lot of these passes are right over the middle. We move a guy in motion, and then two guys would cover the one guy, and then here's freaking Bo Melton wide open in the middle of the field, and there's no safety there because guess what? Harrison Smith's down in the box because he faked that he was going to blitz, and then he never did. And next thing you know, boom, touchdown. So every defensive scheme has an issue, and against a good quarterback, even Brian Flores' scheme can be taken advantage of. And what this proves is I just called Jordan Love a good quarterback a couple times in a row.
You did.
So I've come a long way from where I was earlier in the season when he was terrible, like not accurate and terrible all day long. And if he can keep playing like this, and here's the other good thing. The Packers win next week. They'll be on the road in the playoffs.
Yes.
And they're always better on the road in the playoffs. This isn't like the old days. This isn't the old days if they had a tough running the game and good defense. No. They need a controlled environment where they can let all these young guys with speed take advantage of their speed. And that's what always happens against the Vikings. Last year, we kicked the crap out of them. Well, maybe was it in Lambeau last year? I think it was in Lambeau last year. But either way, great stuff. So there you go. I'm saying Jordan Love, he's ascending. He's definitely ascending. And 4 touchdowns in total today, 3 passing, 1 rushing. He's, and I know Lamar Jackson's the MVP. I don't know. Maybe Jordan Love is
he's the MIP.
Almost MVP. I don't know. The AMVP.
Well, he's definitely the MIP, the most improved player. So from start to finish here in the season.
Just in the one season. Yeah.
Just a couple of quick things, reflections on that, which really makes me think of 2 things, right? Because you did it. You're right. Jordan Love, a couple years ago, 2 years ago, whatever, was like freaking out when there's pressure and just throwing the ball up there and making bad decisions and just throwing it up in the middle of the field, and that didn't look good. And that was one of our biggest concerns about him. We're like, is he going to just be a guy that when the pressure comes is going to not know what to do and just kind of throw the ball away or throw it up there and get picked off? So what's happened is 2 things happened, right? He's found a calm in that pocket when pressure comes. He buys himself a little time. Also, his height, which we talked about before, his height and his long arms help him because he can have a guy actually coming right at him who's pretty tall, and he can still release the ball and get it past the guy or throw it under his, do a sidearm release if he needs to. And those physical traits are some things like some of these shorter quarterbacks or smaller guys just can't necessarily do. And he has that. And the other thing is it shows his full understanding of the offense. Like he knows where everybody's going to be. He knows what. So when he gets in that situation where pressure's coming, he knows, oh, I've got a guy right here. There I am. Right. So those 2 things together help make it work and help me basically say, you want to pressure the Packers and Jordan Love, bring it on. Let's go for it. Because we'll take wide open dudes because he'll find them. Because he's not looking for one guy. He's looking for the guy that's open or the guy that he knows based on what the defense is doing is probably open. And he showed you that once again tonight.
Yep. Big key. Other thing, Aaron Jones makes a huge difference. Period. End of story.
You called. You asked for 20 carries. He had 20 carries.
20 carries for 120 yards. I said it. I said, what are the keys to the game? Stop, don't let Justin Jefferson get off on us. Now, we still did, but luckily they played a quarterback who couldn't throw the ball for the first half. That was helpful.
That was nice.
The other key is Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, he's just awesome. And it's too bad he got hurt a lot this year. And there'll be a lot of questions in the offseason, which we'll talk about then. But as of right now, because he hasn't played much, he looks really good.
He's fresh.
He's he looks awesome. He's ready to go, especially in the dome. He's always great in the dome.
Maybe it's not
weird cuts can always work out in there.
I'll just say this. Maybe it's not too bad that he got hurt this year. Maybe it's not. Because when you look at, if you were going to say right now, the Packers have to win one game and they get in the playoffs, right? But, and you look at what the team went through this year without him, all the stuff they had to do that they probably wouldn't have had to do. All these young receivers, Jordan Love, having to do different things a different way, all that sort of stuff. If they had Aaron Jones to lean on this whole season, they wouldn't have to do all the things they had to do. They wouldn't be the same players, the same team necessarily they are right now. And you take all that together and you still have to just win against the Bears at home and you get into the tournament and who knows, right? And you have the freshest Aaron Jones. You don't have a beat up Aaron Jones who's been run, almost 300 carries or 250 carries on the season or whatever. Maybe this is the way it was supposed to be. Maybe this is best case scenario. Because if you get in there, I love this team as a road team just for those reasons you said. Also, I love the fact that the Eagles are falling apart and the Cowboys might be the number 2 seed. If you can go to Dallas in the first round, come on.
Aaron Jones loves playing in Dallas.
Let's go to Dallas. Oh, my God.
The other thing I would say also real quick, Tucker Kraft is the real deal. He should be the starting tight end because he can do it all. And when he catches the 5-yard pass, he turns it into a 9-yard pass or an 8-yard pass. Unlike Musgrave, who catches it and falls down. I'm sorry. Musgrave may be a faster player with a higher RAS score. Tucker Kraft has a higher NFL player score. He just is a better all-around player. And when Musgrave comes back, he can still be used. I'm not saying don't use him. But he needs to be used to stretch the field because Collinsworth, and the guys mentioned it tonight, without Christian Watson, without Jaden Reed, we're down to Bo Melton, who's our only guy who's pretty fast. After that, we got nobody. And Bo Melton is $160 maybe if he's soaking wet. So it'd be nice to get Musgrave back if Watson can't go and have him just do the seam. And if nobody goes with them, Love will find them. And if they do go with them, the underneath guys, Malik Heath, Romeo Dobbs, they'll be open underneath. And it'll help the whole situation. But I think moving forward, hopefully the Packers realize Tucker Kraft is the starting tight end of this team. Because he can do everything that needs to be done on any single play, no matter what it is. Yep. He can do everything. He can block. He can catch downfield. He can catch the short pass and make guys miss or run over a guy. And Musgrave can't do that stuff. And I'm not saying Musgrave sucks. I'm just saying Kraft is a better player for this Matt LaFleur system when it comes to number one every down tight end.
Right.
Musgrave should be
he has a role. It's just not role of the starting every down tight end. That's it. Tucker Kraft should have that role.
And I think Kraft is a big part of why the offense looks so much better. I mean, how many times earlier in the year did we watch Musgrave catch the ball, fall down, and then we've had to punt?
Or a 5-yard catch and he gets tackled right away because he can't.
Right.
He can't get his balance, can't break a tackle, can't run physically.
Right. Where Kraft catches it, breaks a guy, and maybe he gets 2 yards after it, but then it's 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 5. Granted, we can't really get the 3rd and 1s because for some reason we have Bo Melton and Aaron Jones pushing on the quarterback.
Oh, that was just that one. Later on, they just handed off to Aaron Jones. They were smart. Just give him the ball. You're done. You don't need to do that dumb.
Dillon. I mean,
You don't have to be the. You don't have to do the push your butt play. Like just run your best guy, or run a regular quarterback sneak. Also, that was a terrible spot on that as well. I think Jordan Love actually had it. That was a really terrible spot. And this officiating crew had a few really bad spots in this game. One they corrected, thankfully, with the Jordan Love touchdown, but they had like two other really, really bad spots where they marked the Packers way shorter than they actually got. And that QB sneak was one. Anyway, it's still a dumb play for the Packers to run. Just run your plays. You don't have to be like the Eagles. It's totally fine. Hey, couple of quick things. Just looking at some of the stats, they're really awesome. Again, Jordan Love had a really great game. Very efficient, really calm, did great work all the way across the board. Aaron Jones with the 20 carries for 120 yards, 6 yards per carry. Jaden Reed is a tough dude, man. Jaden Reed's crazy, and he's tough. And
that was a great touchdown catch, the second one.
All the stuff.
Weaved through all the right before that first half. He weaved through all these dudes, and Harrison Smith missed the tackle, and it was awesome.
Even hanging on to that punt where he
I was surprised
fair catch, and the dude tackled him, and he slams his back flat out, goes right down on his back and his head, and like still hung on to the ball. Like he's just a tough dude. Like he makes the tough plays. Like sometimes he drops some of the easy ones. He's kind of like a mini faster James Jones in that regard, where he's tough. He makes all the tough plays. Once in a while he misses an easy one, but man, he's pretty tough dude, and we hope he comes back. And then my guy Bo is just showing out, And I love too that so many guys caught passes tonight. But I will say this, based on the guys that were there, Jordan Love is looking for Bo Melton a lot. He's looking for Tucker Kraft when he needs somebody, and he's looking for Jaden Reed a lot. And that says a lot too. He caught Romeo Dobbs in a couple of key situations, Malik Heath in a key one. So he's not zoning in on one guy, which I like. The thing I think would help Bo Melton tonight is like he was running to open areas when Jordan Love had pressure, and those are some balls he just kind of threw up there, but he threw it up in an area that he knew was vacated. So he had pressure, so he couldn't even sometimes follow through fully. But he's like, I know there's nobody over there, and I'm just going to put it out there and let him go get it. And sometimes that's half of what you got to do, especially if you know the defense has vacated the area. We see that all the time, and some guys won't do it.
And that's one thing too, where I hate to bring up Musgrave about this, but if you do that with Musgraves there, he usually will not judge it right and trip over his feet. And how many times you watch him barely catch it or whatever, where Bo Melton had to, except for the one, that fourth down one, but all the other ones, he adjusted and followed the ball and caught it for the most part. Got a touchdown that way. A couple other big plays. The only thing I didn't like, it was a little concerning, was Romeo Dobbs had a couple drops that he should, like, they were in his hands. Like,
those were tough catches, though.
I know they were tough catches, but like he's the guy. He's known for the hand. He's the hands guy. That's what everybody says. He's got such strong hands. Well, make those catches, dude. Like, that's your job. You're the possession guy. That's his role, right? That's the only thing that was negative to me. That and Josh Myers, when they put Danielle Hunter lined up on him, and I was like, oh, that was bad news on that pass block. But
thank goodness they didn't do that too many more times in the game.
I know we got lucky there.
Hey, there's
lucky with Jaron Hall starting. Thank God for that. Kevin O'Connell freaked out because what's his face threw 4 picks last week, and Vikings couldn't do anything on offense in the first half, which is great.
I didn't know Nick Mullins went to the same school as Brett Favre. Well, then you got to expect those picks. What are you thinking?
What do you think?
Come on, if he's like living up to the Brett Favre legacy at Southern Miss, picks are part of the legacy, babe. Come on, Kevin O'Connell. Maybe Nick Mullins wants to try to beat that Favre record too. Most picks in an NFL career. You never know. You got to give him a chance. Give him a shot.
I think that's one record Favre will always have for all time. I don't think anybody's going to play as long as he did or throw that many picks and still be able to play as long as he did.
That's true. Favre, get the hook.
Yeah, they'll get canned before that ever happens. That'll be the one NFL record that'll last for all eternity.
Mark's here. David's here. They're already talking about next week. Settle down, you guys. Let's enjoy this one for a second. I know it's a different Bears team. We know it is. We've seen it. Their defense is way better, and we've got time to talk about that. We don't have too much more time to talk tonight other than be excited about this win in Minnesota. The Packers have lost a lot of games in Minnesota, guys, over the years. So this is a big win and a dominant win. And this is a team that has not had that many dominant wins on this season. So let's enjoy this one a little bit before we start focusing on that. Yeah, I told you already, my greatest fear was that this was going to be the situation that it'd be a win in the last game of the season against the Bears, and you get in the playoffs, and that the Bears come and ruin our season, just like the way the Lions did last year. But that's the greatest fear. I don't think it's going to happen, and I don't want to think about it right now because we're still in 2023. We'll deal with that in 2024.
There's a big difference.
Yes.
We don't have a douchebag diva baby quarterback anymore.
That's true.
I have confidence in this offense to do something against the Bears. It will be a challenge. They're looking better. After they traded for Sweat, their defense has got a lot more pressure.
Yeah.
Eberflus, after their defensive coordinator, something weird happened with him, and now Eberflus is calling the defense. They're a little bit more aggressive. They're playing more sound. It will be a bigger challenge than what we saw today. And Justin Fields will run around and do crazy stuff, so guys got to be aware.
Lambeau could be a little slippery and stuff like that, and if he takes off, defenders might slip and fall. It might be harder to catch him, harder to tackle him.
That's the other thing is it's at Lambeau, right? So we'll be wearing the right cleats. Hopefully the Bears won't. That's always helpful.
Yep.
Let's hope McDuffie's okay with his head and he can come back, but I don't think it's going to happen based on the way he was wobbly even, after 5-10 minutes laying down on the field. They had, 2 arms around guys just to get off the field. I don't think he's coming back next week.
You need him.
So if it's Campbell out there, I'm afraid.
I don't mind Eric Wilson, but I don't mind him at all. But I like
Eric Wilson actually might be good. Like I would just put Eric Wilson out there and have him spy Justin Fields because he's fast.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be maybe it's a blessing in disguise that because Eric Wilson is pretty good in coverage and he's quick and he can do some stuff and he's got a decent size on him. And just look out for Justin Fields and he's the guy who spies and we're good.
We still got to probably sign another linebacker or two because I don't know how many there's actually on the team anymore for those inside guys.
Remember, we only had 2 guys active in practice when we were there this summer. Inside linebackers had 2 guys practicing because the other 2 guys were hurt. And the outside linebackers, we had like 37 because, Goody, got to get the outside linebackers.
Yep. And Sav was back, but I think we could have been fine if he wasn't back. I mean, he couldn't turn around on that one ball to Jefferson that he should have just he's just not aware. He doesn't know what's going on.
It's fine.
I know, but I'm just saying a bunch of these guys like Corey Ballantyne, having no Jair and having Corey Ballantyne, going back to the law firm of Ballantyne and Ballantyne is pretty good for this team. It's the best we can do, okay? That's the best we can do.
I don't want to bring that up, but that scares me a little. What if Jair comes back next week and they play him? I'd rather have Ballantyne and Ballantyne, to be quite honest. Also, shout out to Jonathan Owens. I think he has decided from early on in the season to be a mentor to Valentine because every time it seems like there's a couple cut shots of Valentine makes a play and then Owens goes up to him and kind of, grabs his head and hangs on to him. And and at halftime, they're walking off the field. Valentine and Owens were walking off the field together talking. So I think Owens sees that Valentine has talent, but he's also got a little wackadoo in him. He's got a little Jair in him. And maybe Owens is trying to mentor him now that Rasul's gone. I think maybe since Rasul's gone, Owens has taken over this leadership role to help Valentine stay on the straight and narrow. And I think it's made a difference because I thought Valentine was very cool-headed today. Did some pretty good stuff. So that's good news. It looked like Keyshawn got banged up a little bit, so I don't know.
Nice game.
Hopefully he's okay the next game because we can't afford to lose him.
He had a nice game. Yeah, I mean, 12 tackles. He had that big pressure sack, blitz sack. Corey Ballantyne had 5 tackles. The pick, heads up pick on that play. Those are your leading tacklers in the game, pretty much. So
that sack was really cool because I'll show it on the film when I get it. I'll show it on film. But they had 3 guys on the defensive line lined up all bunched together, and they did like a split, like this, where Van Ness went around the corner, went to the outside, and the other 2 guys went to the inside. Because originally they were lined up real close together, and there was a big gap between them and whoever was over on the other side. And the 2 guys on the inside just went straight to the middle. Van Ness went to the outside, and then Keyshawn went straight down through that hole. That came about because of those guys moving in motion and all that. And Mullins never saw it, and it was perfect. It was great, awesome play there. So that's a Joe Barry thing. He did something good.
There are a couple of scheme things. That some of the blitzes, and maybe because of the quarterback they're playing, whatever, but some of the blitzes they went with sending Walker at times, sending the double, backer blitz, stuff like that. They did some different things. Phaedrus is here. Hey, we haven't seen you before. Welcome. So they get Jair back too. If they get, a Jair that's ready to play for the team, then we'll take him. If not, if he's going to do his own thing again and not really be dialed in, then like Mark says, he can stay home. And we'll go with Valentine and Valentine. But we'll see how that works out. It's going to be up to the coaches. And I'll say this.
It's up to Jair. Is he going to be a team guy, or is he going to be a weirdo?
Right. And hopefully, you hope. It's not really you hope that it's the suspension that gives him the perspective, because I don't know that would. But you hope that what would is seeing the success of some of these other guys that are playing that unselfish way, that are trying to be, that have that work ethic and the team mentality that Matt LaFleur has also vocally spoken about in the media, who are team guys and talked about what leadership meant to him and all that stuff. You hope some of that stuff reaches him on some level to the point where he's going to play for the team and not for the me. And if that's the case and he plays out, we'll take him back. And it's also going to be up to the coaches to watch that and evaluate what they're getting from him. And if they're not getting what they should get from him, then they need to be big enough and man enough in a must-win game to get you into the playoffs to make a change in game. To say, like, if he's slacking off or he's not trying to tackle or he's just getting blocked or he's going through the motions, okay, sorry, you're replaced. Take a seat on the bench. Don't care how much you make.
You might just run out there, though.
That's not been the way of this coaching staff, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Anyway, I don't want to get in too deep on that. I want to get into this, and then we're going to go. One is, look, Bo Melton, I don't know how many 100-yard receivers we've had this year, but Bo Melton, 6 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown in this game. Congratulations to my guy, Bo. Wish the Packers would have drafted him in the first place, but at least they got him on their team. Jaden Reed, 6 catches, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns in this game. He now leads the team in touchdowns. He also broke Sterling Sharp's rookie receptions record of 55, and he did it in 16 games, so give him that. But he now has, I think, over 60 catches here on the season. Tucker Kraft, 6 catches for 48 yards in this game, really key catches. So those guys were kind of some of the go-to guys tonight, really impressive stuff. And I just had to tell you, bro, I mean, just to remind everybody, this was from before the season started. It's time to bring this back because Ben and I got asked during the debate a question about who's going to be the most.
We'll see you later.
The most impactful of all the Packer pass catchers, ball handlers this season who were handling balls through the air. And this guy right here, he said this.
All right, so everybody's on the Christian Watson train, and so was I for fantasy football. Romeo Doubs, oh my gosh, we love Romeo Doubs. But Jaden Reed is going to be the most impactful guy on this team who's a new pass catcher or a first or second year pass catcher, a young ball handler.
So date on that was 3 months ago. That was before the season started, over 3 months ago, almost 4 months ago. Before the season started, somebody called it, bro. What do you got to say to that?
I got to say, you're lucky once in the clock's right twice a day. You're lucky once a year, apparently. That's all I can say.
Broke Sterling Sharp's rookie record. Come on.
And catches.
Double did 10 touchdowns, too. 10 touchdowns, bro. You want me to look it up? That's pretty good. He's probably going to be rookie of the year if they have a rookie of the year. He'll be my Packer rookie of the year.
He won't be rookie of the year. What's his face? CJ Stroud will be rookie of the year.
this. C.J. Stroud, his team might not make the playoffs. Jaden Reed's Packers
Plus,
might make the
the
playoffs.
guy in the Rams, that Puka Nakua guy, who's kicking the crap out of everybody. He's going to be rookie of the year. If not, what are you talking about? He's got like over 1,000 yards.
I don't think he has double-digit touchdowns. Yards don't win you games.
That's because he didn't have his quarterback throwing to him. Remember when we played him and they had nephew Rippin playing and he was terrible? And man, it's crazy how one quarterback. Same with the Vikings without Kirk O'Chains. Whew.
Oof. I mean, they had him. They had him with the chains and the shirt off, blowing the horn, and his kid and all that. But he couldn't get on the field, and that was where they needed him.
Wasn't quite enough to bring the team together. Just makes you. It just shows you, like, moving forward. If I was a GM, I'm just saying this: I would not be paying any other position top dollar, because they can get hurt, and it looks like you get another guy who comes in there and he just plays just about as good, or almost as good. But quarterback, maybe they're worth the $50 million a year. Because holy crap, if that guy goes down, if he's good, I mean, if he goes down, these other guys are craptastic. I mean, they're craptastic, dude.
There's some guys who are not very good. I mean, the Browns got Joe Flacco out of retirement.
Yeah, off the couch.
He was their best option. He's doing pretty good.
They had a flying coach. They brought him in coach on a plane for his original thing. They couldn't even go pick him up because they had to give all the money to, Wiener Boy for all the money to get Wiener Boy. They couldn't afford. Send a private jet to pick him up. They had to have him fly in on coach. Now he's I really want to see the Browns play the Ravens and have Joe Flacco beat the Ravens.
Ooh, you want to?
That would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome because I don't like the Ravens. I don't like John Harbaugh that much.
You don't like John Harbaugh? You gotta like him better than Jim Harbaugh.
Well, I hate Jim Harbaugh. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
And he's a former Bear, so I really hate him. But I also don't like John Harbaugh either.
All right, well that's fair. You're not a Harbaugh guy. I get it.
I really don't like Joe Flacco either, but I hate the Ravens more than I hate Joe Flacco. So there you go.
I mean, why would you hate Joe Flacco? If he did that to your team, you'd hate him. But like, he just found a way to make a lot of money. I mean, give the guy some credit. Timed it out perfect. Got a bunch of money. Now he's back playing again. Better than the guy they gave all that money to. So I don't know.
It's craziness.
I don't know what to tell you. Lastly, I did just want to say that I was pretty excited to see also the Packers have such a balanced attack, especially early in the game. I thought that was super key, the way they just kept it balanced, and the LaFleur talks about it all the time and rarely does it. And they just kept mixing the run. They kept doing smart plays. And then overall, they kept avoiding penalties. And the Vikings kept, committing penalties. So that'll get you beat too. I can't remember. Let me look at the team stats here real quick. Or the penalties are in this game. I guess they weren't that bad in the end. The Vikings only had 6 penalties for 27 yards. It seemed like more than that. Oh, well. They didn't, though.
Oh, they picked up flags. So.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, 33-10 is the final. Packers win it. They're 8-8. Both
still
teams
alive.
still alive. Both teams still alive for the playoffs. But if the Packers win and beat the Bears next week, they are in. Let's see if Jordan Love and company can do what Aaron Rodgers did not allow the team to do last year, which was win their final game at home against a division opponent and get in the damn playoffs and see what you can do. So let's hope they can do that. All right, bro. We'll do a show here midweek. We will not do a Friday show because we're going to be off on site for Haven Family Christmas with the fam and all that. So no Friday night show this week, but we'll do a show to recap, and then we'll do a show to look at the upcoming game against the Bears, which is a 3:25 kick at Lambeau. Might be a little cold there, but not too bad considering. And then I don't know. I feel like there's something else I'm missing other than Happy New Year. But enjoy your New Year's, guys. Be good, stay good. Happy New Year's to all y'all out there. Go Pack, go. Packers win it. 8-8 on the season. If they can go to 9-8, they make the playoffs. And we'll see who they end up playing if they get there. But yeah, that's all we got for you tonight. Other than that, we'll catch you. What are we gonna do? Thursday, Wednesday? Tuesday?
We only do one show. We don't need to do 2 shows.
No. Which one? Tuesday, Wednesday? Which day are we going to do it? Wednesday?
I don't know. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
All right, we'll let you know. Just keep on your alerts. Keep your alerts. And thanks for subbing. We got some new subs lately. Appreciate you guys subbing in, checking us out, and hanging with us. And
Leave comments and stuff.
Yeah, check them out.
Give us
Thanks
likes and subscribe so you know when we go live.
Higgity and everybody else sending some good comments in here. Mark's been in here sending some good comments. So we appreciate you guys. And if we do get anything else coming up, we'll let you know. But it's just going to be one show this week. And then we're going to enjoy that game Sunday against the Bears. Come on. Anyway. All right. Enjoy this one. See you later. Just to have you, till I treat you, got to find